Hey, it's Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, and today is the last day I have the GMC Hummer. So to give you my thoughts after 7 days of having a press loan for this, so I got a loan from the manufacturer, 7 days driving around, my final thoughts on this. Now, unfortunately, I'm not going to drive around for you in this video because I had a little bit of a charging snafu last night. I'll have a full video on that, but apparently overnight the charger got too cold and the vehicle didn't charge well. It's a very interesting video. You should watch that one. But I want to talk to you my thoughts here inside the garage because I have the charger hooked up. I'm trying to get as much juice as I can in this vehicle before they pick it up. So currently it's sitting off. Now, this is the $110,000 GMC Hummer EV. Full stop. And they're sold out. So it's been really fun this week. I gave a bunch of people rides. I had this over Thanksgiving break. Had cousins and uncles and always give them rides. And I told them, I said, look, this thing is amazing. This is just an amazing vehicle. And yeah, the price is high, but you can't buy one. And they were like, what do you mean I can't buy this? And I'm like, because they're sold out, upon sold out. And there's a good reason for that. I mean, you drive this thing around and many things stand out to me. First of all, this is 9,000 pounds, 4.5 tons. It is massive and its size is massive. I had maybe I can find the video and put it on the screen, but I had parked next to a 4Runner the other day, and the 4Runner looked tiny next to this thing. This is basically the size of a 3/4 ton truck, a 2500 in today's world. I have air suspension all the way around. I have big 30, I think they're 35-inch tires. I have the skid plates all the way around. I have the front hood, frunk, whatever you call these things. I have a small bed in the back. I mean, I have all this technology inside. So I have lot of really impressive off-road features as far as raising and lowering, wheel articulation, and just overall torque and power delivery that you get from an EV. So this thing is fast. 0 to 60 in 3 seconds in the watts to freedom mode. I looked it up, and some Lamborghinis are 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. So a 9,000 pound vehicle is half a second slower than Lamborghini, and that's just watts to freedom mode. Just normal everyday driving, this thing is quick. It's quiet too. The only sound that ever came out of this was the T-tops. Had a little bit of wind noise from the T-tops, probably from where the rubber sat in. I just could fix that pretty easily. But that's the only sound it made. That was it. I mean, it's really fast. Smooth. People were shocked. And I can't tell you how many people got in this vehicle. And their first comment was, I can't believe how smooth it is. I can't believe how, I mean, it was a chorus from people saying how smooth this is because their suspension stuff. I mean, I expected hearing the tires though. I expect to hear tire whine, like these off-road tires. No, I didn't hear any of that at all. The seats are really comfortable. The infotainment system works. The big screen works. Everything works easily. And it's been really cold. It heats up fast because I have a heat pump in here. And so I get hot air flowing quickly. It's been nice. I sit here and charge at home. And this vehicle's cost me maybe $20-30 to fully charge if I don't top it off every night. And so I've been topping it off every night, not even worrying about it. Wake up, I got 300 miles of range. I just unplug and I go. Now, think about that. This type of vehicle with an engine in it would be like a high output 6.2 liter turbocharged V8. It'd have to drop the weight a lot, even though the engine, it weighs some. We're going to probably be about 7,000 pounds. It's going to be a tank like the old Hummers were. Aerodynamically, this thing's shaped like a brick. And so we're going to get like 10 miles a gallon. Plus, it's got such a massive battery in here. If you did the equivalent, you'd have like a 40-gallon gas tank. It'd be expensive to drive this vehicle around. Cost to operate every day would be massive. Now, cost to buy versus gas, there's a lot of argument going on with that, and I will let you to it. But I'm just thinking, look what I get. Excuse me. I get T-tops. I get the coolness factor. I get the different look. People turn heads when they see this vehicle. I also get four-wheel steering. The back tires turn. I was doing donuts around a mailbox. Basically, it was a pole. It was a stop sign in the middle of the road, but I was doing donuts around a pole, right? I saw my mailbox for some reason. I was doing donuts around this pole. It drives smaller than it is. You don't worry about there's no 3-point turns. This thing just turns around. Almost has the turning radius of some zero-turn lawnmowers I've been driving. Okay, now let's talk about how this compares to other electric trucks. I hesitate there because I don't consider the GMC Hummer to be competition to the Ford Lightning or the Rivian R1T, which are basically the varieties out there today. But I guess I could see how that is. I mean, I've had people ask me this question. People in the comments ask me this question as well. And if you're looking for the latest EV truck, well, I could see the comparison. You start thinking about the price point here, and you're like, man, the price point's so different. The Hummer is so expensive. And I'm like, is it though? Is it really that much more expensive? I mean, it's $110,000 for the GMC Hummer as you see it right now in the video, right? And so when you look at this is going to be edition 1. There will be other editions. Sorry, I thought this was going to be playing. So there we go. So there's a GMC Hummer on the screen. So there'll be cheaper editions to go. But looking at this, when I look at this, I think of a gigantic toy. Its proportions are odd. It's very big but very small. The bed is like basically a 4-foot bed. There's not much room in the front or the front trunk area. There's not much room in the rear of the cab, as you would think. It's on the parking lot. It looks like a freaking transformer. It's so massive. But then there's some misses. Like I'm really surprised it doesn't heads-up display. I kind of thought it had heads-up display. I thought it would have just more stuff to it, but it's very bare bones. And as far as overall like features and interior, that kind of stuff, I just didn't feel like I had quite the luxury. Now it's cool, right? So watch the freedom mode's cool. And then you see that right there, you see the acceleration. When you do acceleration on that, the dampeners aren't set in the way I think they should, and it lifts up the front end a lot. And when you watch the freedom mode, it lifts the front end. Four-wheel steer makes the vehicle steer a lot smaller than what it actually is, drives a lot smaller than what it is. But crab walk is, well, I kind of think a crab walk is kind of useless. I really haven't figured out a real reason for it on a practical side. It's a cool party trick. Let's say you look at this and you look at, say, the Ford Lightning, right? So I'll fast forward to a second. So Ford Lightning on the screen here, and you look at the Ford Lightning and you're like, well, this looks more like a pickup, right? This is more like a pickup truck, right? This has got a usable bed. It's got a bigger cabin. There's more cabin space in the Lightning than there is the Hummer, which I think is kind of odd because, again, proportions don't really match it up too well. I think the Platinum get a lot of features. I think it's a lot of fully loaded. You get a lot of all the bells and whistles. And this, in the Platinum, in the 320 extended range model, it can get to 93, was it 95,000 I had from the Lightning? I had it for the week. I mean, so when you're looking at 95,000 versus 110,000, yeah, I understand it's $15,000. But when you're in that customer and you're in that price point, that's really not that big of a deal, right? You're not like going, I'm going to go send $65,000 more or something. You're saying, well, I'm already going to go 95. What's 95 to 110? It's not that big a difference. And I think that for me, I found the Ford more usable, right? So I had the power in the bed. I had power in the front too. And the front could actually hold 2 sets of golf clubs. It could hold more cargo space. And I thought the Lightning was a better overall truck. Granted, none of these vehicles can tow a fifth wheel camper to Montana 19 hours away. It's not going to happen. I think overall, if you're towing to the lake, 50 miles away, 34 miles away, if you're towing around town, things like that, I thought the Lightning was more set up to be a better EV, better overall truck. I think like I said, the Hummer, I think is a gigantic toy. It's a great toy. It's a great toy. I mean, you'd be cruising down the 405, windows down, your buddies in the back, jamming up on the tunes. I mean, I can totally see this. The Lightning to me is more like a more of a urban area vehicle. You can drive, like we had the lady who is in LA. She had this. That makes more sense to me to do a truck in that way versus the Hummer. The Hummer, I could barely fit some bikes in the back. So again, I thought the Hummer was great. It's a gigantic toy. The Ford Lightning is more of a truck I could actually use. And then you take that and you say, okay, well, those are those differences there. All right, then you have the Rivian. This is an interesting one too. It doesn't have, to me, the size of the F-50 Lightning. This is more of a mid-size truck, right? So more of a little bit bigger than a Tacoma. This feels like more the right-size vehicle for certain people. It's, again, not so big as F-50 Lightning is, and definitely a lot smaller. It's probably half the size of GMC Hummer. Still has some capability, right? Still has the decent-sized bed, has that gear tunnel you can store stuff in, has the front area you can put stuff in. But this is more of a, I think this one sums up more of the battery electric trucks to me. This is not something you're expecting to tow a fifth wheel camper. You're not expecting to haul rock 900 miles or something. You're not expecting to do that with this vehicle. This is a sport activity vehicle. This is something, or eventually they call it. This is something you take on the weekend. You can throw a kayak in the back. You can tow a small boat. Hang up. You can go out camping, things like that. And this is a usable vehicle for those types of needs and for those customer needs. So it's almost like the Three Little Pigs, right? So you have the GMC Hummer, really big, really massive transformer, lots of cool tech, but not really that usable as a truck. You have the Ford F-50 Lightning, more usable as a truck, albeit not towing, again, camper across the country, but more usable as a truck, bigger space, bigger bed, more volume. You can haul more people in it, that kind of stuff. The Rivian, it's the smallest one. It's a really interesting size. I think they did a great job as far as putting this in the segment, putting this in the marketplace. It fits in. You get a little more room than Tacoma has or Colorado has, but you're not going as big as Silverado or Sierra or Tundra is. So it has a really good fit there. You can do more lifestyle stuff with it. I think that makes more sense for that kind of vehicle. So that's kind of how I see all three of them as far as the differences. It's interesting, but yeah, I just if you're looking for a new EV truck, frankly, I think the Rivian's awesome. My only concern is going to be service, warranty, that kind of stuff. As long as you can deal with that in your mind, you're set. Lightning, I thought was really good as far as just a basic suburban type of truck, and then the GMC Hummer was just flat out cool. So, I mean, it is just flat out impressive. I think what GMC did here was it knocked it out of the park as far as this type of vehicle for that type of customer. Okay, imagine this. You're wealthy actors. There's a couple of actors in Hollywood that have this. You're a wealthy actor driving around town. You look unique. You look different. Plus, you're charging at home. You're saving money versus using a gas station. You have the money to buy in it. I was telling people, I'm like, imagine this. Put the windows down. You crank up the stereo, which the stereo is really nice in this as well. And you put maybe a surfboard or something and tie it down in the back, or bikes, whatever. Cruising down the 405 in California. I can see this all day long. And for that kind of buyer. Now, is this going to replace your 1-ton dually diesel and tow a fifth-wheel camper? Oh, hell no. Is this going to tow 200-300 miles? No. This is not that vehicle. It's not that customer. The customer is going to take a set of ski-doos in the back, a little small trailer. Or they may tow something home from the furniture store, a little trailer for the whatever. This is not a big towing rig. It's super cool. It's super fun. And I really appreciate the time I had to drive it. I drove the living snot out of it because it didn't cost me anything. I'm charging it home. I'm spending pennies on a dollar versus a gas vehicle. This is gas. I probably would have drove it till the gas tank was mostly empty and made them come pick it up and put gas in it because I don't want to spend the money myself. Because yeah. So I mean, again, I think overall I've been really impressed with it. I don't see it as a direct replacement for anything GMC offers at the moment. It doesn't replace the Tahoe. It doesn't replace Yukon. Excuse me. Get the right brand. It doesn't replace the Yukon. It doesn't do it and that stuff. But what it does an exceptionally well job at. It feels well built. I like the big handles. I like everything about it. Like I said, it's been a lot of fun to drive around. And yeah, I'm going to miss this one. And hopefully, I can see the SUV at some point in the future. Maybe we'll do some different models of this. But yeah, I think overall, they had a home run here. Yeah, so those are my thoughts, my final thoughts on GMC Hummer EV. If you can get one, buy it. It is impressive what this vehicle will do. That's my 2 cents. For more, check videos over here, website down below. As always, thanks for watching. I will see you down the road.